Hey everyone, the translations for CRUSCH and FELIX are now out. Um, First we'll actually go ahead and switch over to the Discord. Let me do that. Okay, so here we have CRUSCH's translations and FELIX's. This is going to be also a should you summon, as it says in the title, for CRUSCH, and then FELIX is obviously a free character, so it's not really going to matter with him. But we're also going to take a look at the memory that comes with CRUSCH. So first, let's just get the free unit out of the way. We have FELIX, or FELIX. I don't know how you would pronounce it. I don't think I've ever heard someone call his name in the anime. Or at least, obviously, not in Season 2. It's been a while since I've heard how to pronounce his name properly. But looking at what he does, allies story defense by 35%. So I think story just means PvE content. So if you bring the PvP, this does not apply. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it means. Like story content is it's either actually literally just story with the battles, or it's PvE content. So if you guys, I don't know, want to test that somehow, or either way, but I'm pretty sure it's PvE. He's got 16k HP, 800 attack. That's pretty low. 1k defense, 100 agility, crit rate's 50%, crit damage is 120, debuff chance is 20, and then debuff resistance 45%. His basic physical attack, a single enemy 400% power with a 100% chance to inflict recovery seal. Okay, interesting. And then his passive at the start of every turn, 100% chance to inflict damage over time to one enemy for 2 turns, 100% chance to remove 1 debuff from all allies. It's very specific. This is a very specific unit, it seems. I would say you'd probably want to build him up, because I believe that they're building this guy with a certain piece of content in mind, and he's going to be really good for it. Like, this is really specific. Skill 2 restores 30% of max HP to all allies with 100% chance to increase debuff resistance for 1 turn. Okay, so this guy's like heavily built for you not to get debuffed, essentially. And then the recovery seal is very specific. So I feel like the next boss is gonna be like recovering like insanely, debuffing you, and this guy's like the key to beating him. I don't know, I just feel that way. Either way, he's a CRUSCH camp, demi-human, physical, knight. And then you have his bonuses, which you get for leveling up these skills right here in the little menu for the characters. First 10 is 10, and then you get the first 20 is 20% defense, and then the first, other than all 30 is HP 30%. So that's pretty interesting. And yeah, so overall, he's not very good. I think his art's pretty cool. But it sounds like he's very specific, like for something specific coming. So just be aware of that. So if you want to like maybe just like get him all the way to like level 70 or something, don't put any hourglasses in him or anything, but just like get him to like a decent level and have him ready. I feel like he's going to be useful somewhere eventually. Then we have CRUSCH, the banner unit. Green allies debuff resistance 50%, very specific. If there is none in the game with the same leader skill, I'd say it's a good one, because I think like every leader skill or every typing should have like a leader skill like this, like eventually for like 50% HP or 50% attack for greens, 50% defense for greens, like, you know, stuff like that, that are very specific for greens and like percentage wise. I think that's pretty cool for the game. So eventually, you know, having like every color have 50% debuff res, or, you know, stuff like that. So I think that's pretty interesting and cool for the game. She's got a 16k attack, 1300 or 16k HP, 1300 attack, 800 defense, 150 agility, 50% crit rate, 100% or 120% crit damage, debuff chance 20, debuff resistance 35. So yeah, stats are pretty basic. Then we have our actual basic. Physical attack, a single enemy with 400% power with a 100% chance to inflict damage over turn for 1 turn, or 2 damage over time for 1 turn. Pretty interesting. Not too big of a deal. Then we have our skill 1, which is a passive. At the start of the battle, 100% chance to increase self-defense for 3 turns. When attacked, 100% chance to increase self-attack for 1 turn, reduce self-cooldown by 1 turn, and remove all buffs from 1 random enemy. Additionally, counterattack with 300% power. So I've seen a lot of like if you go into the PvP, there's a lot of play with her in the top levels because of the. I feel like what is the counter? The counter looks pretty interesting, but this I feel like this passive is overall trying to counter a Sword Saint that just came out, but it's very interesting because it's not like a direct counter. Like she's like super like beefy at the beginning, so like you don't one turn her, but I think I'm not sure how strong this is. So she might still be able to get one shot by a Sword Saint. Maybe even Elsa if she crits. I'm not too sure how strong this passive actually is. But if that's the case, then that's pretty strong. And then plus the counterattack with the 300%. Then she has the cooldowns, which is again nice. And then the remove all buffs of 1 random enemy. I feel like if this lands on your Sword Saint and you like if you attack her and this lands on your Sword Saint, it's kind of unfortunate. But I don't think it really matters on any other character. Maybe Roz when you find like if it's later on in the fight. But yeah, this is at the start of the battle, so I don't know how long it lasts. Like if it's like a one-time thing starting in the beginning of the battle, or it's only like one of the first attacks or something like that. So yeah, I think it's like you're taking a risk by using your Sword Saint to kill her. But I think the Sword Saint is like one of the only characters that can do it first turn. So she's basically like trying to like provoke you and stop you at the same time from attacking the first turn in PvP. So it's kind of interesting to see this like kind of dynamic. Then we have the skill 2, physical attack a single enemy with 1200% power with a 100% chance to decrease attack and defense for 2 turns, and inflicts taunt for 2 turns. Additionally, 100% chance to increase self action gauge by 200%. Oh, she attacks again. Action gauge is what causes you to attack, I believe, and then agility is what speeds up the action gauge. So if 200%, I think that's like a go again. I think that's like a second attack. That's pretty strong. She's pretty strong. First of all, just looking at this, like this is a must. Oh, not a must summon, but this is very like a lot like. This is very interesting for PvP. Like, if you focus on PvP a lot, this is very like you probably want to pick this character up. She's very attention grabbing just from looking at her. There might be some play around her in the future, or might even be some play around her now. She looks really interesting. I guess we could go into her bonus stats. She's at defense 10%, HP 20, and then attack 30. Just really basic stuff. Then CRUSCH, human, physical, aristocrat. So yeah, she looks really interesting. She's very defensive and offensive at the same time. She's kind of wild. I don't know. I kind of really like her. I wasn't going to summon, but... No, I'm still not going to summon. But she's pretty cool. I think this is a very cool kit. And I would like to play around with this eventually. Maybe pull her eventually. She's pretty neat. This is pretty fun to test around with and build teams around. This could be really interesting. Again, I think she's like being seen in PvP a lot. I was gonna go ahead and bring it up here. We just switch screens real quick. We can go ahead and look at PvP to see how often she's played. I think it's this one. Yeah, so she's in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the top 10 teams. And she's also in the main team. So Anna is in every single team, by the way, and I did not know she was this good. I think she's still mid for PvE though, but I didn't know she was this wild for PvP. Here's real quick. I want to take a quick look at Anna because she's like everywhere. I think I just like looked over her or something. Buff Seal. Oh, Buff Seal. Okay, with her basic. That's Roz. Okay. Increases the cooldown. Recovers an attack. That's kind of interesting. Physical. All enemies buffs. It increases all allies. Oh, she's kind of nutty. Okay, she's like support of the year for PvP right now, but it's like very situational. I don't think she's like the best support in the game. I think right now, since Roz is like basically the unit to beat still, she's very good for stopping him. Like it was Amelia, Christmas Amelia, but Anna just does it better. She does way more for the team. So I think right now specifically, that's why she's so good in the meta. But I don't think she's like anything like too special. I think she's like I don't know about SS tier, but she's definitely S tier. So I really like. She's really like S tier in them. I think she's SS tier now in this current meta, but in general she's maybe A to S. That's how I would see it. Okay, either way, back on the CRUSCH. CRUSCH is like, I think S right now. Could be possibly SS tier if people find more ways to build around her. It looks like some people are like able to do it. Or she might get worse, honestly. But her kit is very interesting, and if you want to summon, I wouldn't blame you, because she's also like a very cool character. Like, first of all, her animation is really sick. Second of all, she's like a cool character, like in general. Like this whole like get up with the spear and everything, I think it's just really badass. And her kit's really cool. So I wouldn't blame you guys for summoning on this. Like, look at this, so good, and like the little glare in her eyes. Absolutely love her. And then let's go a little bit into the memory real quick, just to wrap off things. If it loads, if it's up here, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so the memory is basically another one for her. HP, I think, is 20%. Attack is 20%. HP and attack, pretty interesting. It's only for CRUSCH Camp, by the way. Then we have once you get it to Gold Star, if CRUSCH Camp, when attacking, there's a 100% chance that you will recover 10% of your maximum HP. So just thinking about it on her, is basically just allowing her to lifesteal whenever she attacks, and just keeping her alive on the field even longer for her counterattack to proc, or you to slip up and just proc that passive on the wrong character, and then it's game over for your team. So it's pretty interesting. She's like a ticking time bomb if you're unlucky. But if you're lucky and the passive procs on a unit that doesn't have any buffs, and it's not really that big of a deal, then I don't know. It's kind of like a 50-50 again with this character. But I do think she's pretty cool in concept, and I wish I could summon on her, but I'm just free to play, and maybe one day I'll become pay to play and max out every unit as they come out. I'd love to do that, but yeah, I need a lot bigger channel in order to do that. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the Shuji summon. Overall, I think this is skippable if you're not a PvP player, but if you're a PvP player and this piques your interest, I don't blame you. This is a really cool unit to have, and it looks like she's like pretty good and at like just like fitting herself into this current meta. So I think it could work out, especially if you like go in on her like a lot. Oh my god, my voice. These videos, man, what they do to me. So yeah. If you want to pick her up for PvP, yeah, that's fine. If you don't, you're not really missing out on too much. She seems like she could be really good for like a boss battle, like in PvE. But other than that, you're not really missing out on like much. Especially if you have Sword Saint, she's already like a great DPS nuker. Then you also have Elsa for survivability and just like that crit chance. And then you have like other stuff like supports and stuff like that. So, yeah. So at the end of the day, it's really up to you if you want to summon. If you're, again, PvP is the way to go. She's more PvP oriented, just to let you guys know. So hopefully you guys make a now informed decision on what you're going to do with your gems. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.